Hello, hello, hello. Happy Friday. Made it to the end of another week. I hope everybody is feeling really well. I am back in my studio's kitchen listening to the rain just pouring down. It rained all night. And you know, I've got a whole group of young people who are supposed to be camping down on the farm this weekend, and it is just so waterlogged. Anyway, there we are. Good for the garden, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely. Hi, Alison. Hi, Joe. Hi, Nikki. Hi, Tilly. Hi, Pretty Wee Squares. That's a fun name. Hi, Joanna, Elaine, Pen. Lovely. Nice to see you, Katie. Great. Let's get our friends on Facebook. I'm going to have to explain that things might look a little bit different on Facebook today because, hello, Facebook. I was just saying that things might look a little bit different today because we had some tech issues earlier on, and hi to everybody on YouTube as well, because my phone, for some reason that I do, Facebook and YouTube on, simply won't charge. I mean, I've tried 4 different chargers. Honestly, this morning we were running around like headless chickens. We were trying to get it all to work. So anyway, so I'm doing it on my iPhone, which means it's at a strange angle. So apologies on Facebook, but I thought, you know what, better that than nothing. So I hope you agree, and I hope you will bear with me. So today, very excitingly, I have got 2 live guests for a Feel Good Friday. So we're going to be talking about great things for inside and great things for outside. And one of the great things we're talking about for outside is this really fab apron and more. Oh my goodness, I never thought I'd be so excited about kitchen aprons. But I'm going to be talking to a fab female founder about some kind of fun fashion for the kitchen. So stay tuned to that. But in the meantime, I have invited back one of my favourite guests here. I spoke to him, I'm trying to think, it must be a year ago. Yeah, it looks like I'm serving ice cream, doesn't it? Sadly, no ice cream, although I have got some plans to make some kefir ice cream at the weekend. So Kevin Levers, who's the CEO and founder of The Naked Pharmacy, which many of you know that I've spoken about before. I haven't actually talked about them in a while. They are such an interesting company, British brand founder. Love the packaging. Really nice, recyclable. The first time you buy it, I think you get your pot, your little glass jar, and then when you refill, which I do, so I always have refills now, they have really interesting supplements. So they're out of the norm, but we'll hear about his background. Everything is evidence-based, research-based, and this is such an interesting supplement. I first wrote about this in Earle Wellbeing magazine. It must be, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago, when we did a story on crocus extract, because saffron is the little saffron fronds that come from crocus. And for something that's so small, oh my goodness, it's so mighty. It's extraordinary. So I just thought that given everything that's going on in the world around us, because this particularly helps with anxiety and just takes the edge off that anxious feeling, it would be really good to chat to Kevin about how it works and just talk about some of the interesting things that are going on kind of in the plant-based pharmaceutical kingdom. So excuse me reaching across, Naked Pharmacy, there we go, 100% plant-powered pharmacy. So let's see if Kevin will be able to join us. Come on, I have sent a request. Hate tech sometimes. The colours are really good, aren't they? Honestly, you wait and see all the other things that I've got here to show you. So I'm going to split this live today in 2. I'm going to start with Kevin, and then I'm going to move on, and I'll be talking to Maxi. So yeah, Nikki, I thought it would be very good to have a little refresh. So hi, Kevin.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm really well. I'm just going to turn your volume up because I think I've turned my phone down.
I need to turn my microphone up as well because it's gone a bit quiet.
Yeah. Oh dear, that wasn't a nice view, was it? Sorry, I've had all sorts of different tech issues going on here. I mean, luckily, I've got such a great community here on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram that everyone's very forgiving. And I think you just have to go with the flow, don't you? Because we've had to adjust and adapt and do all sorts of weird and strange things in different ways that we never would have done before in this last year or more.
Yeah, we've absolutely been in the same place, and I've just had to learn how to do Instagram lives for the first time as well. So yeah, I'm glad it all went well.
Good, good. Very, very pleased to hear it. So we first connected, I was just saying to my friends here that we first connected, must be a few years ago, and I don't know how long Naked Pharmacy's been going, you must tell us. But I was looking particularly at crocus and wanting to research that, and that's how I first came across you. But what's your background? Because it would be really interesting to hear, because I know that you've got a really interesting backstory, haven't you, as to why you set up Naked Pharmacy?
Yeah, so I started work in the pharmaceutical industry 35 years ago. So my first job was working for the guy that discovered ibuprofen. So I was in pure drug discovery. Yeah, so I kind of feel as if I've come full circle in the inflammation or anti-inflammatory field, but in a
Yeah, oh
different
my
way.
goodness, haven't you?
Yeah, all those years ago, I was probably the only 16-year-old ever to start working in that department at Boots Research when there was one
How
um,
interesting.
in
Yeah.
Nottingham. And yeah, I remember asking John all those years ago, what inflammation was, and he drew all these cascades down and just explained how ibuprofen blocked certain processes. So yeah, it was an amazing experience.
Yeah, very interesting. I mean, without giving too much away, I actually recorded a podcast a couple of days ago with an amazing American researcher who is talking about brain inflammation and neuroscience and psychology and psychiatry, and about how things, he mentioned ibuprofen because he was saying that actually how ibuprofen can help with some of the inflammation that's going on in the brain that actually improves some of the psychiatric disorders, which is quite interesting.
Yes, and I think the latest research on saffron is is in parallel with that. So we're
Really?
working in the gut where the nervous system is really important, that connection to the brain with the vagal nerve. But it's
Yeah.
also working in the hypothalamus. So that's kind of the conductor of the nervous system, if you like. So that's where our stress response sits and is initiated and managed, if you like. So, and we know that from latest research that saffron's having a big effect on a myriad of different kind of transmitters and processes, and also about nerve regeneration. So it's helping the nerves reconnect. So that's quite a unique kind of skill as you say, a very
Yeah.
small filament from a tiny little flower that only blossoms for a couple of weeks in the winter. So
So tell me, this is fascinating. How did you go from being a pharmaceutical researcher and working, on things like ibuprofen, to then looking at saffron flowers for all their various benefits? I mean, what was your journey?
So after 4 years at Boots Research, I went and did my pharmacy degree at Bath University, did a year in hospital pharmacy and a year in retail pharmacy, and then straight back into industry with, well, it was Upjohn, and then I think it got bought out by Pfizer in Australia.
Yeah,
I did some work in manufacturing, a lot of work on morphine, diamorphine injections and quality control and all those sort of things. And I came back thinking I was going to get a job in conventional industry. And by chance, the first job that came up was with Weleda. So it's a Swiss herbal company.
Weleda, I love Weleda.
Yeah.
That's such a great brand. Absolutely. I mean, I know them from some of their skincare things and their beauty things, but of course they've got all these amazing herbal supplements and healthcare things going on as well. I mean, they're a great company, aren't they? Did you have a good time there?
It was amazing. I thought I was only going to stay for a couple of years and then move on a career trail. And 11 years later, I was chief pharmacist there. I did a lot of work with European leaders. I did a lot of manufacturing and development work for cosmetics as well as for the herbals. They've got a big range of herbals.
Yeah.
And it was really a kind of eye opener for me. It really opened my eyes about what could be done with herbs and how they could sit alongside conventional medicine.
Yeah.
We have this thing about either or. You either have conventional, you're in the conventional camp, or you're in.
I use both. I get quite annoyed when people, dismiss people who are just using plants and herbs, as saying, oh well, I'm sure you don't use anything else. Of course you do. You take the best of both, don't you?
Absolutely, and I think there's sort of a suspicion on either side. The herbal camp are very suspicious about the conventional camp, and vice versa. But actually, if they're both using the same techniques, the same evidence-based processes, then there's no reason why they can't be integrated very effectively and safely. So it's, for me, the naked pharmacy was an opportunity to basically provide solutions for people. And we will often advise on conventional medicines as well as natural ones. We get something like 100 queries a day coming through. We've got a team of 4 pharmacists here now. Although
Really?
I've sent them all out for lunch. Too distracting. So
it's really amazing to hear. My goodness.
yeah, and we you know, part of our role, I think, is advice. I think it's about community and about how we support people. I mean, last year in lockdown was very, very difficult for a lot of people, and you know, we had some heartbreaking stories. But if we can just help in a little way, whether it's advice, you know, providing supplements, or saying whether you can take this alongside your conventional, that's what we're here for.
So what, you know, I've already seen a number of questions actually coming on Instagram about that very point, about people who are interested in having something like Saffron. Are there any contraindications? Can you take it alongside other vitamin or mineral supplements or any other medication?
Yeah, the great thing about Saffron is it doesn't interfere with other medication. The only thing we say is don't take in pregnancy. It's not because it's unsafe, it's just because there's not enough data to support the safety, not worth taking the risk. Breastfeeding similar, although I've seen Saffron used for babies, you know, 1 filament for colic.
Well, you can eat it. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, this is something, think about, you know, delicious saffron risotto or saffron that's used in all sorts, particularly in Middle Eastern cooking. You know, we're not talking about anything weird and you know, a brand new chemical compound. This is something that's existed in nature, you know, for millennia, quite likely.
Yeah, and that's what I loved about my time at Walida. You know, I was there 11 years in total. And, you know, that connection to the earth, to nature, we had a farm on site.
Really?
You know, part of my...
Whereabouts are they in Switzerland? Just thinking about planning my next few press trips. Might have to go.
It's well, they're Swiss German, so there's one near Stuttgart, a very big factory, and there's a smaller factory near Dornach, it's just outside of Basel. Beautiful little sort of village, and it's a fantastic experience if you get to go. I think the philosophy that infuses all the way through Walida is just one of those, you feel part of a really good thing for science, for nature, for people. And that's, I think that's stayed with me since then. I left in 2004.
Yeah, very, very interesting. No, I must hook up with them again. Question there is coming up about how long you can keep saffron for. Somebody's got saffron that's 4 years old. I mean, is it something that goes off? I mean, what would you say?
There are certain herbs that are what I would call unstable. There are others that last for a long time. And generally speaking, the spices last for a long time if they're stored well. They generally don't like to be exposed to bright sunlight. So I say keep out sunlight. And the process for extracting the saffron to go into the saffron is a cold process. So we keep the heat away from it just because the heat can damage some of the bioactives.
So yeah, it depends how you've stored it, I guess.
Yeah. So
I'm going to open this. What first drew your attention to saffron, and why the crocus extract?
I first saw the research for it something like 7 or 8 years ago. The pharmacy has been launched for about 6 years now. And I was doing some research as a consultant for various companies, and I came across this paper, and I looked at the trial design. It was properly designed, randomized, blinded, placebo controlled, proper numbers. So, you know, I always look for 80 plus people, obviously human studies. And the p-value, the difference between the placebo and the active was less than 0.05, quite a lot less. And I just thought, wow, that's amazing. And I think in some respects, the way the plant flowers and produces these stamens in the middle of winter, in the dark of winter, you know, these stressful climatic conditions is almost a metaphor for what it's doing to us, how it's helping us in terms of our stress, you know, perhaps our mood, perhaps a little bit low during the darkest part of the winter. So I kind of like how that story about the saffron itself matches the research.
That's really interesting. So people would take it. I mean, it says on the pack that it helps to reduce tiredness and maintain normal physiological function. Obviously, I know that you have to be very careful with medical claims and getting licenses and things for things.
Yeah.
But it is very much to do with anxiety and stress and just taking the edge off anxiousness. And, you know, I took this all through last year. I've actually, you know, been feeling better this year, actually. So I've got out of the habit of it. So I've just taken my two capsules now, actually, to get back into the habit.
Mm-hmm.
But the other place that I do take it or use it every day is with my children.
Yes.
So you have a children's version, which is what, half the dose in a smaller capsule, so it's much easier to swallow.
It is, yeah. So we've used it for our son for quite a number of years now, really effectively. And there's a couple of trials out now that supports the use for children. I think that the age range was something like 7 to 14.
So that age when you may, you know, people may be experiencing issues with things like ADD, ADHD, anxiety, you know, especially at the moment with kids who've just been so stressed. I've definitely seen a difference, and it's something that I definitely want to use. And I remember talking to you before, I think maybe we podcasted on this, and one of the reasons I've just taken my Saffron now is that you say in order to get a better night's sleep, which is something that it really helps with, you take it in the morning. Yes. So you don't take it last thing at night before bed, which was really confusing to me. So how come you need to take it in the morning in order to get a better night's sleep?
Well, I think this is sometimes when you launch your product on the back of research. You know, the research papers will tend to be, you know, 100 to 200 patients and stuff. And we know that when you launch, you start to experience and learn about a supplement or a product in a much deeper way. So, and it was just from our own personal experience, we found that taking it in the morning was better. And the only explanation we can come up with that's logical is the fact that our cortisol stress hormone spikes in the morning. Right. I quite like to do some research on the effects on cortisol at a certain specific time in the morning and track it with and without Saffron. Because I think that to me is a logical explanation. And it seems to work for us. I think at night time, you're sort of lying there very relaxed and very chilled out, but hopefully. For some reason. So yeah, morning was definitely the best solution based on experience.
Really interesting. So people are taking it then for help with sleep, for help with staying calm, with anxiety, for, you know, mood swings, lifting, lightening the mood, that kind of black cloud that can follow us around sometimes.
Yes.
Is that the main reason, would you say, that people are using Saffron?
Yeah, I think that the biggest one as well we found is the menopause, perimenopause as well. And in fact, there's been a paper just published on a proper randomized trial on menopausal symptoms. And it found that Saffron is really effective, particularly for the psychological symptoms, not necessarily that effective for the hot sweats and the flushes, the vasomotor symptoms, but the p-values were really good for the mood, the nervousness, the sleep. So
brilliant.
Yeah, so it's a really useful, and we've got some great testimonials from people that it's made a big difference to them.
Great. Well, you have very kindly given us a 20% affiliate code, the Liz Loves code.
Yes. That's
for new customers. So I know there are a lot of people who are looking at it. Libby, you just asked what's it called. So the product is called Saffron. I guess that comes from saffron and sunshine.
Yes.
And it is saffron. So literally the main ingredient in here is those bright yellow little saffron crocus flowers. Is that right?
That's right. So not the flowers, it's the stamens. So
the stamens. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm afraid you can't see Facebook and YouTube, but Andrew is actually holding up. It looks like that bright orangey, just little, I don't know, little sort of fluffy particles filaments. That's the word. Thank you. The technical word, filaments, that you get inside crocuses when they grow. So where do they come from? Do you harvest them from literally crocus flowers?
We do. So in November we harvest in Spain, not far from Madrid, and we found I visited the factory. I know how it's made. They use a cold water-based process in terms of extraction, so it's very pure. And
I bet it smells amazing, actually, because I can, you know, even though these are encapsulated in here, when you open the pack, You get that real saffron smell. In fact, it smells. Now you've said it, it smells like Spain. You know when
Yeah,
you go to Spain and you eat the paella and it's got loads of saffron in it.
yeah,
Exactly, that smells like sunshine.
yeah. The concentration has
Oh.
to be a lot higher, and the three actives were called carotenoids. So obviously,
Mm-hmm.
the same family as the carrot, but it's crocin, picocrocin, and saffronal. And the research shows that you have to have those three carotenoid compounds in there at a certain level, because those are the ones that are interacting with the brain chemistry, if you like, and within the gut. So that's quite important. Sometimes if you extract the wrong way or the wrong temperature, you'll remove two of those items. So you tend to be left with the saffronal and the crocin elements, and the picocrocin goes. So that's why the extraction of the protein is really important to the effectiveness of the product.
Yeah. So interesting. And is this something that you take all the time, or do you cycle it? Do you do sort of months of taking it and then a bit of time off, or is it something that you need just to have as a daily thing? What would you say?
It's fast acting, so 3 or 4 days. So that's the great thing
Oh,
about it.
that's good to know. Yeah.
And I've taken it all the way through, obviously lockdown, been quite challenging in many respects.
Yeah, of course.
But
Whoa.
I took people that were, oops. Are you still there?
I am. And I think you're possibly flat on the floor at the moment. Oh dear. Right. I think Martha is possibly around to help me. Oh, pick everything up. Hello, are you here?
Yes, I'm still here. Are you okay?
I'm absolutely fine. Yeah.
That's the sort of thing that happens to me mostly. So
I was trying to be clever because I actually saw on Facebook that some people were having issues with the sound. So I thought, do you know what? I'll just lean across onto my iPad and see. Hello. Yes. No. I'm absolutely fine. Thank you. And see if I could turn it up on my iPad. Is that better for you guys for sound? Let me know. I'm actually knocked my stand over now, so I'll have to see if I can just pop you down here. Hopefully you can see and hear a little bit. There we go. Is that any better for sound, Facebook? Let me know. I keep saying to my lovely community here that, one day this will be a proper show, and we will have, camera operators and sound technicians and lights, and it'll all just be seamless. But until then,
it's just authentic. That's
what we get.
Thing. It's authentic, and I'm glad it's not just me that does these sort of things.
No, very much. We keep calm and we carry on. So you were saying that in terms of cycling, whether you take this, all year round, whether you, take it month on, month off,
Yeah, it's very much individual. I think people, I'm very much of the opinion that you shouldn't be, if you shouldn't feel as if you need to be taking them forever. Right. The whole process with the Saffron is to flip your biochemistry back to a healthy state. And at some point, you'll feel strong and robust enough to be able to say, well, I've been good for 2 weeks or 4 weeks, so I can have a rest. And okay. I think that's quite a good thing to do. I personally have had to take it continuously for about 1.5 years because,
I have been relying on it rather a lot, I must say.
Yeah,
interestingly, you've got a bit of vitamin D in there as well, I've noticed, which is really good. I mean, not a huge amount. Well, actually, 10 micrograms, that's not bad. I mean, I take huge amounts of vitamin D, and also B12, so incredibly helpful.
Both of those are food sourced, so we don't use any synthetics. That's important to us. Even the other ingredient is an organic baobab, which we work in as a prebiotic.
Baobab, I know baobab because baobab grows. It's an amazing tree. Grows particularly on the coast in Kenya. So my friends in Kenya, they have baobab trees in their garden. They're the most beautiful looking prehistoric trees.
They're amazing, and I think the gesture, the personality of the herb or the fruit or the tree, I think that tells us a lot about what the tree can give to us. So I'm scientific, but I'm also Walida trained. So
I love that juxtaposition of the two views, and you can bring that together. Not many people can bring that together in a professional capacity. in
Yeah,
my experience.
yeah, I think it's there's something missing. I think it's kind of right brain and left brain. And I think if you just doing the science without the more kind of feeling element, an instinctive, intuitive element, I think you're missing a whole huge part of what's important. And this is nature, so it's not black and white. There are lots of soft edges to it. And so I was trained in Goethean observation, which is the way you look at plants and what the signature of the plant is and how it's perhaps communicating with us in terms of what it can do for us. So and baobab, I think, is such an amazing tree, and the fruit, it's like a sherbet, and if you look at the profile of it, it's a perfect prebiotic.
Well, kids in Kenya, interesting about the prebiotic, and I'm sure the kids in Kenya will be really interested to hear that, because they have these huge big pods, big baobab pods about that kind of size that hang down from the tree. And when you crack them open, it's a bit like those sort of sherbet bonbon sweets, toffee bonbons.
Yes.
And you eat them, and they are really kind of sharp, but slightly sweet. And the kids, they literally crack open the baobab pods, and you can see them with these handfuls of little kind of white, fluffy little seeds. And they just suck all the white, fluffy bits off and then spit the seeds out.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
But interesting that it's a prebiotic. Oh my goodness, I simply can't wait to be back there, and I should be cracking open my baobab pods, and the monkeys love them too. So the kids have to kind of chase off the monkeys because the monkeys are all over a baobab tree.
Wow. Well, I haven't seen one in real life. I look forward to that.
So you have to come to Kenya.
Oh, I'd love to.
Have to plan a field trip. Kevin, we're going to have to go because I've got another guest that I'm going to interview, but I really want to continue these conversations with you, because this is just one of so many really interesting products that you are developing and producing, plant-based but backed by science, and they are different, aren't they? They are outside of what the norm supplement industry is looking at.
We like to look at new things that have got an evidence base that perhaps haven't reached the market yet. And I'm very hot on supply chain as well. So, generally have gone to see where it's grown, where it's harvested, and where it's manufactured before we will accept it.
Yeah. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for our discount. And I'm very grateful to have these back, actually, because they had slipped off my list. But I've got a few kind of things going on at home this summer, and I think having this as a little boost will be super helpful. So thank you. And my kids, honestly, all through the exams, absolutely, they won on the younger version of it. So
I'm absolutely delighted. I'm really pleased that it's helping.
Yeah, no, it so is. Thank you. And let's schedule another chat, and I promise not to make my stands fall over next. leave you sprawled on the floor. You were very good about that. Thank you.
I'll have something to talk about over dinner tonight.
Liz, knock me over on her live. I was on the floor. Great to see you anyway. Have a lovely weekend.
Take care. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye. Oh dear. I think that we do still have an issue with sound on Facebook. So apologies. I mean, obviously, if you're watching me on Facebook, you're not actually going to be able to hear what I'm saying. But I'm just going to carry on. So if anybody watches Facebook, they can see that I am here and I am doing my thing. And I think Martha or Lainey, who's manning Facebook, will be able to just have a message saying, if you want to actually hear what Liz is saying, you're going to have to go onto Instagram. But I think it's worth showing the pictures because I'm now going to be joined by a lovely lady who is well used to being in the kitchen. So I hope that if I click on my let's just see on my requests here that we will have polka pants. This is super exciting. I've been looking forward to this chat. There we go. Let's see if we can get Maxi. I hope I'm wearing my apron straight. I think it actually got a bit twisted when I was...
Hi.
Hi, Maxi. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you? I'm glad that took so quick to join. It usually takes forever for me. I'm usually the one that knocks my phone off.
Yeah, oh my goodness. Did you see that was so embarrassing? Yeah. Anyway, we're all friends, so it's fine.
No, he was really interesting. I actually just purchased some of the Saffron numbers to take. Yeah.
Oh, well, I hope you used your Liz Loves, because that 20% is quite a good one. And it's genuinely good, and it's genuinely interesting. And I think, for these anxiety making times, we need all the
Yeah,
help we can get, don't you think?
definitely.
Now, I am so cheered by this apron. Oh my
I
goodness.
wondered which one you were going to wear today.
Simple pleasures. Well, I've got several here because I wanted to show them, because, I am spending a bit more time in the kitchen. And the aprons that I've got, they're okay. I can find kind of plain linen ones. But honestly, some of your designs are just excellent. And let's talk a little bit about you as a fab female founder on Friday, because you are a chef, is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
So
I'm a
what's
chef.
your background, and what made you think, oh my goodness, I need to have some really amazing aprons?
Very long story short, I trained in fashion design, moved to New York, worked for Chanel, decided I hate the fashion industry.
You do? Oh my goodness. I mean, like, up there. Hello.
Yeah. Decided I hated working in that industry, and then quit my job and trained to be a chef in New York. And
amazing. And what a brave decision. Love that.
Yeah. And then moved to London about 7 years ago and founded a company called Polka Pants. And we make sort of fashion forward workwear for women working in hospitality. Because working in kitchens, I couldn't find any clothing that I was comfortable in and also like looked good while you're cooking. Having a fashion background, I obviously care a lot about what I wear in any situation.
That's so cool. I love it. I love it when people go out there and they can't find what it is they need. And so you just say, do you know what? I'm just going to make it.
Yeah,
Because
I mean,
if you spotted that gap, that you need something, good chance, as an entrepreneur, that somebody else will also be looking for that.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if I was being a diva thinking that, or if someone else had the same problem. But
I love the pants. I mean, traditionally, I guess chefs wear the checkered black and white check trousers.
Yeah,
and you've got great designs for those.
Yeah, I actually saw your daughter in a pair of leopard print trousers that you posted up the other day, and I was like, oh, she needs a pair of the leopard print polka pants.
She so does. Oh my goodness. She was in the kitchen with me, and I think I posted that I had bum envy. I mean, she just looks amazing. Unfortunately, she feels rubbish physically, but she looks incredible, and she gets almost all her things from charity shops. She is just an absolute mine of resourcefulness. And I think they're original, like 1970s.
Yeah, they're great.
She'd love an update. Thank you.
Yeah.
Her Instagram feed is much younger and funkier, and I'm not sure that I can see myself in a pair of skinny leopard print trousers in the kitchen. But hey, you never know.
My mum wears them.
Does she? But I have to say, what I do absolutely love is these amazing aprons, and you have given us an affiliate code, so there is a 10% Liz Loves, just before everybody rushes to the website. But this one, I'll just put it around like this you've got these beautiful frills.
I think it's just tied behind your neck.
Yeah. I mean, they just look so, can you imagine if you're having friends to supper and you're cooking in the kitchen, which I think is, that's certainly how I tend to have friends to supper these days. I cook and, pour a glass of wine and everyone kind of mingles around. And actually, to be wearing a scruddy old apron doesn't really cut it, does it? Whereas if you can wear something that matches maybe with your outfit, that's a little bit glam, and you've got these ruffles on the side, you've also got the ones that have ruffles at the front, or ruffles. Yeah,
this is my favorite one.
That is beautiful. Well, I don't know if you can hear me on Facebook, but if you want to see Maxie, she's got these beautiful yellow ruffles. I do love that, and of course you're then completely covered too. So Yeah,
my husband loves that I quite often just wear it as a top and nothing underneath when it's really hot. Which he's a big fan of. No, I've got trousers on mostly.
Cute. I was thinking, well, that takes kitchen, fashion to a whole other level, doesn't it?
No, but that was the thing, because I never really wore an apron, and I sort of thought about why I didn't wear them. And I thought generally because they always sort of cover your outfit. And I think same thing like you when you like hosting a dinner party, half of one of the things
look at this.
you enjoy is getting dressed. That one's great.
I mean, this, frankly, I mean, I would just wear this as a crop. I mean, I would need to have something underneath because otherwise, you know, it would be a bit too risque at the back. But how fabulous these are, and what an amazingly clever design, and how incredible that you were, you know, designing, working with Chanel, and you're doing amazing aprons. I mean,
Yes.
that's just, you know, it's just so clever. And I love the way that you can pull it in, you know, with the straps, so it gives you a nice bit of shape.
Yeah.
Great, absolutely love it. I'm going to take some pictures actually, perhaps next week before I send these back to you, so that we can put them on the Instagram. I do a little bit of a fashion parade.
Great.
And this one, so you've also got half aprons. This is really pretty. This is like almost like a patchwork, isn't it, with the pockets in the front here?
Yeah, so the half aprons, they're all made with all the offcuts from the main Frill Story collection. So we're trying to be a bit more sustainable because the textile industry is so wasteful. So we collect all the scraps when we're making the full Frill Story ones and make the half stripes with all the scraps.
Love it. Really nice. And what a nice hostess present actually to take somebody too, because, you know, rather than taking endless flowers and chocolates, and, you know, take something that's really...
And the frill ones are really nice as well. I'm getting, my fiance and I are getting married next year, and so I'm planning to get all the wait staff wearing the Frill Story ones, like for our wedding. Again, if you want your wait staff to then your wedding to have or event to have a point of difference, because sometimes wait staff are a bit bland, so giving them an apron. Yeah, just...
How genius is that? And this is also really lovely. I'd be frightened to wear this because it's white, but actually it is so beautiful. I think if I wasn't cooking with turmeric, which I was yesterday, then I would wear this. I mean, look at that. I mean, this is like, it's just absolutely stunning. You've got the organza and the little, I don't know what this is called, this little pleated fabric here. And I mean, look, I mean, that does look like a piece of couture, to be honest.
Yeah, I love that one. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Absolutely. This one may not be in the box when you get it sent back.
Yeah, I think that was one of the first ones I made, actually.
Really? Love it, especially in the summer. And you can just imagine that, you know, when we are hopefully able to go away, you know, you could just imagine that if you were, I don't know, cooking up something lovely on the terrace in the south of France, and you're wearing a beautiful apron. I mean, it's just, I just think they're heaven. I really do.
Oh, thank you.
I think you're so clever. So where do you make everything?
They're made in our studio in North London.
Great. Okay.
Yeah, so we have a small production team, and they make the trousers and the aprons.
Brilliant. Ethical, sustainable, British made.
Yeah, we've been producing everything with them for the last 6 years since we launched. So we have a very nice relationship. I bake the team cake every week.
Sounds a dream. Somebody's asking me how they tie at the back, so I'll just show you. So basically you kind of slip them on over your head. Like
it's a little crisscross.
It's a crisscross, which is really flashing, and then they've got little loops each side here, which means that you can pull them to adjust them, so you can have them kind of as high or as low as you like. See, they kind of pull, and they are really comfortable. And then you just cross them like that, so you can pull them really nicely in to give you that nice shape, which is nice, and then just give them a bit of a loop. But I love this because it's like it's a take on a traditional butcher's apron, but in just such great colours.
Yeah, but a bit more fun. It's been really fun to work with color again. And I think, you know, given the times that we're having when a lot of people are now cooking at home, it's a nice way to just bring a bit of like fun and joy into the kitchen. Even if you put it over your pajamas in the morning while you make a cup of tea. Yeah,
it just makes you smile. Makes you smile. Love it. Thank you, Maxi. I wish you huge success.
Thank you so much, and thanks for having me on.
It's been really lovely to talk to you, and thank you for being our fashion focus here on a Friday.
Wonderful. Thanks so much for having me.
Have a great weekend.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. Now you have to leave me, Maxi, because otherwise I cut everybody off, and I don't want to risk any more disasters. Isn't that great? Honestly, go and have a look. So she's Polka Pants. Liz Loves is the affiliate code, so that gives you 10% off. I am really torn, I have to say. I do love this. Do absolutely love. I hope you saw the detail on here because it is really gorgeous. And actually, this, when Maxi was wearing it and you could see the frill up here, I mean, isn't that special too? I mean, you'd have to be cooking for like some special people or a lovely dinner party or a summer barbecue. You know, I mean, I've got, you know, old linen aprons that I put on if I'm cooking outside, but actually if you're wearing something like this, I mean, it just looks so chic and so nice. A pair of jeans, just got my grey jeans on. Love the fact that it's got, you know, proper lining. Beautiful. Really nice. Lots and lots of luck with that, Maxie. Great to chat with you. And I didn't know your backstory. My goodness, I didn't know that you worked in fashion at Chanel. That is super cool. Just before I go, I would just like to remind you, for those of you who were talking about brain health, about the importance of, I'm just going to move that over there, of staying sharp and staying sane. So, whoops. Sorry, I'm still trying to battle with Facebook. Never going to give up. Stay sharp, stay sane. I hope that lots and lots of you managed to download it free. I think it was last weekend, losing track of time. It is really, really a good read. And if you didn't manage to get it free, apologies for that. But we do now have it available as a standard download on the Earle Wellbeing website. It's $4.99, worth every penny, in my opinion. Really fascinating on what we can do for our brains, our mental health, sleep, depression, anxiety, low mood, all of those things. So if you're thinking about, you know, Saffron for those reasons, then a really good read alongside it would be Stay Sharp, Stay Sane. Also some nice recipes in here. Talking about recipes, and of course my recipe book just fell on the floor earlier, but just to say, I put a picture up earlier on Instagram, which was my turmeric, cauliflower, almond and vegetable noodle delicious salad, and it is absolutely delicious. So the lovely Alice, who's staying with me at the moment, she made it yesterday, and honestly it was one of those dishes where we made a great big bowl full, and it's one of those dishes where you're literally scraping the plate trying to get the last little bit. It is completely delicious. And you know, I had different people around that had different dietary requirements. So I had a vegan, I had Lily with, you know, low histamine, lactose intolerant, gluten intolerant, you know, dairy free, all these things. It's like, oh my goodness, you know, what am I going to do? And it just ticked lots and lots of boxes. And actually I had third helpings of it because it's great for gut health and it tastes delicious and I love it. So you don't feel that you're eating some sort of, you know, strange exclusion food just because, you know, you've had to because you've got people around who can't have certain things. No, not a bit of it. It tastes absolutely amazing. So I am going to go and grab my book and show you because, bear with me, we were just doing a little bit of a stock take actually in the studios, and we realised that this lovely book, the Yearbook 2, we are getting very low in stock. And we're not going to reprint it. So if you want your physical copy, you'll always be able to get the digital edition. But if you want your physical copy of this beautiful book, which will be signed, I sign every one, please don't hang about. I'm hoping that we might have a few that will last till kind of Christmas because people buy them as Christmas presents, but I'm not sure if we will. So I just wanted to give you an alert on that really, because the cauliflower recipe is one of the amazing cauliflower recipes that are in here, that's in here. It's on page 198. So those of you who've got your book, you might like just to take a look at it. 198, here we go. Yeah, so that's actually the recipe that I was talking about. That's the one that I was making. Super good, very, very easy to make. And it is cauliflower with turmeric, and you've got some really interesting spices in there, lemon, olive oil, of course, a little bit of kale, almonds, fresh parsley, and then you make a noodle. So you do like a spiralized noodles where you can just slice them really, really thinly. And that's beetroot, courgettes, and then there's a dressing with Greek yogurt, which you can serve on the side. So if you've got somebody who doesn't have yogurt, then that's fine. They don't have to have that. But that's a really good dressing, actually, if you're thinking about a dressing for the weekend, if you are having any picnics. Let's hope this rain doesn't stay around, but that's Greek yogurt with olive oil and a little bit of lemon juice and lemon zest. So just those three things. So Greek yogurt, olive oil, and a little bit of lemon zest and lemon juice, and you can just, you know, adjust the quantities according to how much you need. I've used 2 tablespoons of Greek yogurt, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, so equal Greek yogurt and olive oil, and then half a lemon juiced, and then the zest as well. And it is fantastic. So simple, but you could add that to a bit of grilled fish, grilled chicken, even a steak, a few sausages on the barbecue, add it to salads, avocado. It's really, really good. So anyway, that is one of the many recipes and other beauty things and lots of good stuff that are in these beautiful yearbooks. So just as an alert, because I was surprised, I think we must have, shipped out lots during lockdown. But if you would like one, please don't hang about, because we won't be reprinting them. So sadly, they'll just be digital. And I know yearbook 1 we have sold out of. Somebody was telling me that they were going for a lot of money on eBay. So I don't know, if you want a physical copy, you might be able to find one perhaps from one of the resellers. But at the moment, yeah, this one is on a warning. Something else that's also on a warning is the magazine. Just before I go, not that it's going to sell out, but we're about to print the new issue. And I hope next week to have a copy of the cover. It's just gone off to be proofed at the moment. So I hope to have a copy of that to be able to show you here first. So as soon as I get that back in, I will show you and give you a little sneaky preview. But we are about to go to press, so it's not available in the shops. So if you want it, then please make sure you're on the list. The other thing to make sure you're on the list for, if you're watching me in real time, perhaps for the first time, or a newcomer here, you're super welcome. Just to say that the Earle Wellbeing newsletter goes out every Friday at 4 o'clock. So Amy, my amazing digital editor, big thank you, Amy, for all your work this week. She presses the button at 4 o'clock. So she has everybody on the mailing list, and that's who it gets sent to. So do check your junk mail or your spam email box, because sometimes obviously it's quite a big mailing and sometimes spam filters don't like that. But yeah, you've got to be on the list to get on. And so if you haven't signed up for it, just head to Earle Wellbeing, the website. It's completely free. We don't spam you, we don't sell your data or anything like that. It's purely a lovely community resource for all of us here. And I share lots of links. So I'm sharing a link this week to the Friday 5 podcast, which I recorded yesterday with Lily. £78 on eBay to buy my yearbook 1. Oh my goodness, that's extraordinary. Well, well done for spotting it, but wow, that is a lot. Okay, I hope that's incentive. If you would like your yearbook 2, maybe you could buy 3 as an investment, and then you could keep 1, and then next year put 2 on eBay. No, I'm joking. No, honestly, I went to limited actually, didn't I, to one per customer. But anyway, yeah, if you would like them, we do have them here. Thank you for letting me know that. So the Friday 5, which is my podcast, that will go live a little bit later if it's not already live. A lovely chat actually with Lily. So I hope you enjoy that. We're talking about chronic pain, about migraine, and about some really helpful things. She's so techie. She's got some really interesting gadgets and things to talk about. So, and because I was with her, because she's at home with me, we actually filmed it as well. So you can listen to it on your podcast app. But if you'd like to see us sat together, we're in the sitting room and we're talking, and she's showing some of the things that she's talking about. So you can actually see it on YouTube. So I'm not sure if it's actually gone live yet, but it will be going live any minute now if it hasn't already. So do please take a look, and make sure that you're subscribed to the Earle Wellbeing YouTube channel. We're putting so much on there at the moment, loads of lovely videos. Thank you for all of those who said that you liked my skincare tutorial. I have to say I felt a bit nervous doing that one, because I'm just standing there and I had a completely naked face. I did it first thing in the morning. So I've just kind of woken up and was just doing my morning routine really. And if I'm doing a morning skincare routine, you can't have any makeup on, because that's not real, is it? So anyway, thank you very much for all your nice comments on YouTube about that. I do look at them and I do appreciate it. So thank you. That's it. Hope you have a lovely weekend. Hope you've enjoyed today's chat. Thank you for bearing with the few technical issues that we've had. Have a lovely weekend. I hope you stay dry. Oh, you're watching Lily and me on YouTube. It's already on YouTube. Brilliant. Thank you. Yeah, the Sasha Bates podcast. That was a really good one, wasn't it? Amazing. Do take a listen to that. Honestly, there's so much that you can dip into and enjoy this weekend. So I hope you find it all super helpful, and massive apologies to Facebook and YouTube. What I'll do is I'll make sure that we put this recording on Instagram up on those platforms so that you don't have to faff about with sound issues and things. So anyway, have a lovely weekend. Sending everybody lots of love. I'll see you on Monday. Bye-bye.